Hi there. We're going to be waiting a few more minutes. Give a few more people time to sign up to the link to the Zoom meeting. So I'm going to be off camera until that happens. Give it another 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
All right, in 2 more minutes, we'll be starting, guys. 2 more minutes. Okay. Vamos arriba. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good afternoon, team. How are you, everyone?
All right. Welcome to our meeting. This is, I'm actually going to be transmitting on Instagram. So let me plug in my phone real quick so we can get started on Instagram. Great. Make sure, yep. And we are live on Instagram. Hello, everyone. And hello, everyone on Instagram. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. I was actually expecting a few more drivers, but you're probably going to be joining in later. In any case, this is good because last meeting was really, really long. This meeting is scheduled to last about 45 minutes. The last meeting lasted 2 hours and 45 minutes. So our drivers had a lot to say. And I'm always going to be listening. So I am more than happy for you to express what it is that you are that you have in mind. It doesn't matter. Everything you have in mind is you are welcome to share it. This is the whole purpose of why we are doing this. Let me see if my people on Instagram can see. You won't be able to see that. So people on Instagram, you're going to be, I guess, looking at me because I cannot fit you in this space. So before we get started, again, I want to say thank you to everyone for being here. And I'm going to have the team introduce themselves. I am going to introduce myself last, but I'm going to allow Socrates. He's my business partner. He's the other owner of Gallant Luxury Service and Tracy Luxury. So we're happy to have you here, Socrates. If you want to get us started, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. All right. Good afternoon, team. My name is Socrates Martínez. I'm one of the co-founders of Gallant Luxury Service and also owner of Tracy Luxury Service. I would like to say thank you, everyone, all the drivers for your support, to be in the street every day, to do, your amazing job that you guys doing every day. So the purpose for this meeting, interview or podcast, whatever you want to guys call, is to feel free to talk, to express yourself, and hear your feedback about everything that you want to, bring us an attention for us about whatever you think that we can do better, how you guys feel about the company. That's This is the opportunity for you guys to express yourself, and you have the open mic. All right. So thank you so much to be here, and we appreciate your time and be part of Gallant and Tracy. Appreciate it, guys.
You are on
You are
mute.
mute. But you know the rules, Paula. You are next.
There you go. You're next, Paula. Go for it.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Paula Vanegas. I'm Operations Supervisor of Gallant and Tracy. I'm the who handles all your pricing requests and all the complaints that you send on WhatsApp. So feel free to reach anytime.
Paula, we also have an invitation.
Yes, we have also an invitation. We want you to invite all of you to join us to our celebration. We are celebrating 10 years of Gallant. So the celebration will take place on Saturday, July 26th. right? Please remember that to attend, you must confirm your attendance through the link that is included in the invitation that we send via WhatsApp. So just go ahead.
Thank you, Paula. Great. So this is Paula. She's our operations supervisor. All the complaints that you have and most things that you guys write to us via WhatsApp, she's the one answering to you. So now you can put a face to the person behind the words. And lastly, of course, it is me. I am also a 50-50 partner here at Gallant and Tracy Luxury. Very happy to do this. The reason why we're doing this is for transparency, so that you guys can get a chance to. I know I haven't been able to call everybody. Socrates hasn't been able to talk to everybody. So we're doing this as a whole. Again, the purpose of this is for you to express yourself. We're just going to ask you to do it professionally and just don't just be professional about it. Feel free to say whatever you want as long as you say it professionally. And this is how we get started. So I am going to read a couple of things to you that I want to get the meeting started with. And the first thing I want to mention real quick, this is going to take about 10 minutes, and then the floor is open to you guys. The first part is that, remember guys, you are a contractor, 1099 contractor. You already knew this, but you are responsible for submitting your own taxes, for your own schedule. You work whenever you want, and this is how we work with you. As far as the use of our app when you're working with us, it is madly important, guys, that you place the correct steps, the correct status for the trips at the right time. That means that once you take a trip and you go to the pickup location, you have to be directly in front of the pickup location before you press on location. So on location can only be pressed when you're directly outside, and then you press pickup once you have the passenger in the vehicle, and you press drop off when you're directly outside the address. This is important, guys, because we have been not getting paid for some trips when you press on location and you're still 2 blocks away. This is not good for us. This is not good for anyone, because the insurance companies are, which is what we work with the most, they're getting really strict about it. So we have had occasions where we pay some drivers for a trip, and then we don't get paid for it, and we go back and look at it, and that was because the driver placed pickup when he was still 2-3 blocks away. At which point, then we let the driver know that we're going to be deducting that paid from his next pay. So that way, it is important that we don't make that mistake, because this is really not a mistake. And like I said, if we pay you for a trip that you don't complete all the way through, even if it's after, we will take that money back from you, because we are not getting paid for it. No, so when should you cancel a trip? You should cancel a trip within the first 3 minutes of taking it. In the app, in your driver app, you have, once you take a trip, whether it is assigned to you, whether the auto dispatch system gives it to you, you have 3 minutes to decide whether you want to do it or not. At which point, then, if you stay with it, we expect you to do it. You already know that there are penalties for you calling the base to have a job removed. And these penalties are a lot more serious when you are talking about a morning job, which is the jobs that are assigned to you the night before. Guys, it is also important that we continue to be on time. Our on-time record has gotten better, a lot better, but we still have a lot of improvements to make. So if you're going to be late, if you know you're going to be past 15 minutes of the pickup time, give dispatch a call. Let them know that you're going to be late. They may or may not take the trip away from you. Why would they take it away from you? Because if you're going to be late, it is not you, it is us. Gallant is going to be late, not the driver. Remember, these are our passengers, our responsibility. So when you decide to stick with a passenger, even though you're half an hour late, that passenger is going to complain to our insurance companies, which is going to take trips away from us. It's going to put marks on our profile, and we don't want to do that, because that takes away trips from everybody. So if you are late, call dispatch, let them know, listen, I'm going to be late because of XYZ reason. At that point, the dispatcher is going to decide whether there are other drivers, going to look in the area, is going to see if there's other drivers that can do the job, are going to be on time, and we're going to assign it to them. Or they're going to tell you, listen, I have nobody else in the area. Please go ahead and take the trip. Go ahead, and I'm going to call the passenger. So the dispatcher calls the passenger, and that's how we can sort of cover that. If you are late and you don't let us know, you will be penalized if the passenger complains. Understand that, please. Passengers sometimes tell you one thing, but then they go ahead and write a formal complaint against us, the company, not you, the driver. And that takes trips away from everybody. As far as, so make sure that, again, once you've waited for the passenger, the time in the app, you can just mark no show. You can call the base if the passenger is not answering your phone calls. You can call the base once you're on your way. If the passenger is not answering, if the passenger is telling you they're not going to go, call the base and we will confirm this information with the passenger. We are going to make notes in that trip so that everybody is covered. You are covered, we are covered. We have proof that the passenger said they're not going to go or that the passenger didn't pick up the phone. However, once you are in front of it, you must wait the full amount of time in the app before you press no show. You cannot press no show before that, and you should press no show once the passenger is gone. You cannot just wait for a passenger forever. If a passenger for some reason gets aggressive with you, guys, do not, and I am going to plead with you, don't fight with the passengers. Don't argue with the passengers. This is one of the worst things you can do. Remember, this is medical transportation. A lot of these passengers look like they are okay physically, but they are not okay here in their head. So medical transportation requires a different level of care than regular Uber or most cash paying passengers. Remember, we have to be empathetic. We have to understand that these people are going to the doctor for a reason. If a passenger gets aggressive with you, I highly recommend just turn off the car, take the keys with you, exit the car, and call the police. Call us, call dispatch, let dispatch know that you're having a problem, you're having an issue with a passenger. And usually by the time you get out, you tell the passenger you're going to call the police. Usually they get out. I've never really had anybody stay in the car. I think maybe once in the last 10 years, there was there was a time where the police actually had to show up. So just get out of the car. If you fight with the passenger, you're going to lose your license. There's nothing I can do against it because it is against TLC policies. It's not even our policy. So conflict with the passengers, make sure you exit the vehicle, take the keys with you, turn it off, and then call us, call 911 if it is necessary. There's a couple of things that I want you to know, and this is regarding documentation. Make sure your documents are up to date. Don't wait until after the documents expire to update them, because once the document expires, automatically the system is going to kick you out. It's going to put you off, which means you may go into a waiting list. Now, if you go into a waiting list, when you come back, which usually there is at least a month, 30 days that you need to wait. Once you're placed in a waiting list, you are not going to come back on with the same deal. Right now, the new drivers and drivers that are coming back from the wait list are coming in at a 13% base fee. So if you want to keep your 10% base fee, I highly recommend that you do not go into the wait list. You stay active, you avoid that wait list. As far as that also, you already know that, and I'm almost done. I have 3 more points to mention. You already know that our week starts on Monday and it ends on Sunday. You have from Monday to Sunday, I highly recommend you look at your trips every day before you start working. Look at the list of your trips. Make sure that all of the money is there, that everything is good with the trip. And if there's any issues, you have until Monday before 10 a.m. to let us know that there was an error with a pay, whether it was a toll, with anything, whether there was anything wrong with the trip that needs to be fixed, you have until Monday at 10 in the morning. This is already given to you in the documents that we give you initially, but I like to emphasize it because if you tell me on Tuesday about a problem that happened Wednesday before, it's already too late. There's nothing I can do. I've already billed that trip to Medicaid, to the insurance companies, and they've already processing the pay, which I'm gonna get 3 weeks later. So if you don't want any problems with your pay to stay the same, make sure you act quickly on it. Look at it every day. Most of you have never any issues, but there are some issues sometimes. When the issues arise, make sure they are solved before 10 a.m. on Mondays. Now, this, as far as what I was mentioning before, this includes MTA stops. Whenever you take a trip from the MTA that has a stop, make sure you do that stop. Make sure you complete that stop. Why? Because if we pay you for the stop and then the MTA doesn't pay us because it doesn't show in the map that you went to the stop and you waited for the passenger, then we're going to take those $7 away from you as well. There are $7 that are added extra for every stop on MTA trips. If they're not added, if they're added to you, but you don't actually physically go to the stop, then we're going to subtract it from the next pay. This is important. I don't want to do this. So please make sure if you go to a stop, you actually go to a stop if the trip has a stop. As far as what to do in your vehicle, this is your vehicle, but when you are transporting our passengers, please make sure the music is at a good level, is not way too loud. Don't be talking on the phone. This is against TLC rules and regulations. Don't eat or smoke in the car. We've actually had that happen before, and that driver is no longer working with us. It is remember, this is medical transportation. I can't stress that enough. So a lot of our passengers are very sensitive to these sort of things. So don't eat, don't drink, don't smoke while you're driving, don't be on the phone, just regular stuff. And lastly, but not less important, is that we have zero tolerance for fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, if you complete a trip without the passenger in the car, this is the definition of fraud and we will report you. I am not going to be an accomplice to fraud. I am not going to go to jail with you. I am absolutely not. I don't love you that much. So I'm going to ask you, if the passenger, I understand that sometimes no shows happen and we try to do everything in our power to avoid them. We confirm to the last minute with the passenger, but sometimes the passenger tells you, yes, I'm going. And as you're there, they tell you, oh, I decided I don't want to go anymore for whatever reason. So guys, make sure you do not complete a trip without the passenger in the car. This is very serious. I am going to later on share a story directly coming from New York State, from the government, of bases that have been fined millions of dollars, people that have gone to jail because of this, because they're completing trips that are not real. The passenger is not real, or somebody tried to get creative, and while one driver took the passenger, the other driver took their companion. Same thing. This is illegal. Please don't play with the system, because again, I will report you. I have to report you. If I don't report you to the authorities, that makes me an accomplice, and I didn't get to this point by being an accomplice to bad things. This is really everything I wanted to mention. We have an awesome operation going on right now. Oh yeah, there was one more thing, and that is, gentlemen, ladies, everybody's always welcome to share their opinion, whether you do it through WhatsApp. If you want to talk to me directly, you can just write a message on WhatsApp, tell them I want to talk to Victor. I have something important to talk about, and I'll be more than happy to give you a call. Sometimes it takes me really long, and I apologize. There's a lot of things that we're doing, but I'm happy to always talk to my drivers. You guys make us what we are, right? Without you, we can have 1 million passengers, but without drivers, we can't take them anywhere. I can't transport all the passengers myself. So this is very clear to me. You guys are an essential part of this business. We cannot do this without you. Literally. I'm not saying this to say it. I literally cannot do this without you. But you guys, whenever you say anything you have to say, please be courteous. Please be professional about it. When you swear to my dispatchers, when you curse at them, when you write really messed up things, whatever it is you want to write, and when you send these really nasty voice messages on WhatsApp, what's going to happen is that we're going to block you. It's just the way it's going to work. I will not allow my dispatchers to disrespect you as a driver. On the same token, I cannot allow you, the drivers, to disrespect the dispatchers. If there's anything that's stressing you, just talk to me. Tell them you want to talk to me. Don't give my guys a hard time. They're only doing what I'm asking them to do, right? They're only trying to get their job done. And they're doing, if they don't do what I tell them, then they're going to get fired. They're not going to lose their jobs. So again, don't be nasty. All I ask is just be professional. Let's talk to each other like two adults. I don't have to yell at you. You don't need to yell at me. We both have one purpose in mind, and that is the motto of this company. Our motto is to bring our passengers safely and on time. That is what we do, everything we do. That is why we do everything we do. We do it so that the passenger is brought to their appointments and back home safely and on time. I take that to heart. This is what has allowed us to grow a lot. We have hundreds of drivers working on a weekly basis right now. We're performing thousands of trips on a weekly basis, and I couldn't be any more proud of the team that we have developed. Unfortunately, we have had to get rid of some drivers and some dispatchers for that matter, when they just don't cut it. We take pride in being the best medical transportation company. We take pride in providing the best customer service we can, and we take this seriously. We work hard every day for it. And all we ask from you is to just, give us back that respect that we show you. Having said that, I open the floor to anybody. We have some people watching on Instagram. If you're watching on Instagram, feel free to ask any questions you like. And if you are here, feel free to turn on your camera, guys. You don't have to, but I would love to see your faces. If you want to say something, please raise your hand. There's a little hand that you can raise here on Zoom, or you could just unmute yourself, and I'll recognize you and you go ahead. Does anybody want to say anything? This is your chance.
Don't be afraid, guys. We're not gonna penalize you if you turn your camera on. Don't worry about it.
Yes, we had that's true. And you can say whatever you want. This is not going to be held against you. We had a meeting already in Spanish last week. And some people complained about the base fee. There was complaints about wait times on the phone, usually in the around the midday. This, I was not aware that was that big an issue until last week. And we've been working hard to try to get that between noon and 2 o'clock. I've heard that you sometimes have to wait a long time on the phone for that. So we've been working on that. So anything you say is not going to be held against you guys. You're only going to help me make this better. So please, if you want to say something, say it now. You can start with your unit number. Just say your unit number and then go ahead, speak your mind. I think Isis, you look like you want to say something, so be the first. No?
Can I say something?
Absolutely. What is your unit number, brother?
996.
996. Happy to have you here, brother. Go ahead.
Yes, my first concern is about the dispatch. Sometimes I feel like the dispatch is invading my privacy. Like, what I mean by that is, like, sometimes I don't feel like working, or I have something to do at home, and the dispatch just put me on online and assign a trip to me, and calls me multiple times and to give me the trip, which is something that I don't like. And it's like now they're forcing you to work not on your own time. And when I tell them that I'm not available, it's like they are not happy with that. So I would like to address this issue first, please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is,
Okay.
This is
I would
actually
like to add on that too, actually. Yeah, that happened to me just a couple of minutes ago. I was offline and then I get a trip and then I decline. Then I go offline again, and then within a minute, I get the same trip again. I'm like, man, but I
Yeah.
was offline. Like, is this offline thing working right?
this is interesting.
Mm.
Because when you are offline, there's no way we can turn it back on. That physically, it's impossible for me to, or anybody. If I can't do it, no one else can in the company.
When we get a trip, it actually goes online by itself.
Yeah, this happened to me multiple times. Like it's like they can track you even if you are offline. I understand that if I'm online, yes, you can track me, you can send a trip to me. But if I'm offline, there's no way you should. I mean, you assign a trip to me and force me to do it.
Absolutely, you're right about that. And this is the whole reason why, this is the whole point why we have the offline thing. We're actually on a regular basis. We said, you've probably seen the status on WhatsApp, where we ask drivers, if you don't want to be called, just to make yourself unavailable, turn off the app. So if you're telling me that even after having turned off the app, they can still assign trips to you, that means that they can still see you in your if they can assign trips to you, they can still see you in the map. And if they can still see you in the map, your app is not off. Because we again, there's no way I can turn it on from here. The app, it's just, it doesn't work that way. I don't have that power. The system won't allow it. So if that is happening, I want you to do me a favor, brother. This is not supposed to happen. One person mentioned that also in the previous meeting. So thank you for bringing that up. I want you to take a screenshot of that trip, that when it happens, and send it via WhatsApp. Because what we have to have that trip specifically as close to the time when it happens as possible, so that we can send it to Limousys. Limousys is the app, is the application that we rent. They're the people that we rent the application from. This is not our own software. So we rent the software from them, and they have to fix it. If they can see it, this doesn't happen with everyone. Like, I can go online right now. As a matter of fact, we should probably try it. What was your unit number? 996?
Yes.
Paula,
But
can we try it now? Can you turn your app on and turn it off? And then Paula's gonna see whether she can see you online or not.
let me try to turn it on now.
Yes, please. Wait, yeah, go ahead, and then turn it off, and then we're gonna see if we can see you.
Okay, let me turn it off now. Okay.
Because this is serious. We should not be able to see you if you're off. I agree with you. It's 100%. You are 100% correct about that. The system is not intended to work that way.
All right. So my second concern is about lateness. Listen, sometimes we might think that we're going to be on time, but something happened. Like there's traffic buildup, and unfortunately, when we try to call the dispatch and they never pick up, it's like they take forever to pick up. So how now you said that you're going to penalize us just because we are late?
All right,
Let,
that's it. Go ahead, Socrates.
let me ask you something, 996, and nice to have you in the meeting today, and everybody. That particular waiting time when you call the base, you have a specific time when that happened to you?
Yes, that happened to me. Like if I'm about to be like 5 to 10 minutes late and there's traffic and I call the dispatch, they take 10 minutes to pick up. Sometimes they even take 15 minutes to pick up.
Yeah, but I ask you about the time, like at what time you call the base and that situation happened to you, like
Oh,
9 morning, 10,
usually
12?
I call the base like 5 to 10 minutes after I take the trip if I see that I'm going to be late.
Yeah, but at what time? What time during the day?
Oh, that happened multiple times. That's not a specific time.
All right, but you don't have like one time range, like we can measure that issue, like morning, afternoon,
Oh,
evening.
usually that happen in the morning. Yeah, in the morning.
Okay, morning. Gotcha. All right. Thank you for that.
All right, and one more thing. I mean, two more things, please. There are some times that we have to wait for the passengers for 20 minutes, and you said earlier that we have to wait for the time to finish so that we can put the person as a no show. But to me, I found that it's ridiculous for us drivers to wait for 20 minutes for a passenger before we put that passenger as a no show. And you guys don't even pay no show.
That is true. Again, I mean, so far you're on point every time, brother. I have nothing. I cannot. You are correct. The app should give you a time. There should be a counter as soon as you place on location. They should start a countdown. And once that countdown reaches 0, you can technically leave. You can go. You don't have to wait 20 minutes for the passengers. That is ridiculous because the passenger needs to be outside and ready by the time we get there. So once the trip is dispatched, the passenger is aware that the trip has been dispatched. So they have to be ready. If they make you wait, you don't have to. If the app is giving you permission to put no show,
they don't give you permission. Like some dispatch, they even ask you to wait more than 1 hour for the passenger.
No, this should not be the case. No, but the app itself, in the app, you can place no show. You can click no show, and if you click no show, can you see? Have you ever seen that option?
Yeah. Yes.
You can do it. You don't have to ask dispatcher's permission.
But the thing is, when it gives you the countdown says 180 minutes. You have to wait, and until that countdown it doesn't come to 0, they're not going to give you the no show options. So that's what I'm talking about.
Wait. 180 minutes?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Does anybody
that
see?
That happened to me. Yes.
It should be like 7 minutes, right?
Yes. Sometimes it's 7 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and one day I had 180 minutes. That's why I had to call the dispatch, and they had to remove the trip for me.
I got you. Okay, so make sure you're looking at our trips, because if you're looking at trips from the network, it is possible that there are bases that have different settings, and you might be seeing a different base setting if you take.
Yeah, not from your base though. I mean, like from all. I mean, some of the bases, not your base though.
All right, good. If that's the case, no. Thank you for bringing that up, Paula. But we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that. Let's see how we can tell the dispatchers that for network trips, after it's a no-show, it's a no-show. So we're gonna go back and talk to our dispatchers about that. If a trip, you should not wait more than 15 minutes at tops. 15 minutes is the most you're supposed to wait for a passenger. After that, the passenger is a no-show. That's just the way the system should work. So yeah, very good for you bringing it up. No, you don't have to wait 20, 30 minutes. And as soon as the trip shows you 7 minutes, or as soon as the trip shows you no show, you can press no show. If it's not one of our trips, just call dispatch, and the dispatcher is going to take it from you. We're going to make sure we bring that up to the dispatchers.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last question is, you were talking about not to eat and to smoke in the car with the passenger, which is something we're not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But a passenger could choose to report you for something that you didn't do. For example, like today, I had a customer trying to converse with me about politics, which is, I found that annoying. I didn't want to converse about politics with this client. So I was trying to avoid this conversation, but it kept going on and with this conversation. But now, what if the passenger feel like I don't want to talk to them, or I don't feel like talking about the subjects that they want to talk about, and now they choose to report me? What is my defense about that then?
What I highly recommend is just to cover yourself. You just do a quick video. Record a video of what's happening, or call dispatch immediately after, because what we do is that we make notes on every trip. Every trip that we talk to a passenger, we are making notes of it. So when you call and you tell dispatch, oh, listen, this passenger I was with, they just did this, or they just did that. If you want to do it, if you don't want to do it with the passenger in the vehicle, You could just tell them immediately after the trip, you just call and we'll make a note of that. That way you are protected. You don't have to talk about anything you don't want to talk about. It's a free country. And, you know, so as a matter of fact, I highly recommend you don't talk about politics
Thank you.
because that is a touchy subject for most people. I don't care, but most people do. So yes, report it to dispatch. It's your safest bet. If you want to cover yourself, just because sometimes they report you directly to the TLC, not even to us or not even to the insurance companies. So to protect yourself, just, you know, record a video of what's going on. If you think something's going in the wrong direction, just start recording and make sure you're clear with what you're saying. Make sure you're professional the way you say it, and you'll be covered. What I just mentioned, brother, this is a medical transportation, and a lot of our passengers are not well in their head. You know, I don't know how to say that any more politely. So if that's the case, just protect yourself by making a little video. That way you protect your license. And then with us, you could just give us a call and we'll make a note on the trip. You take a screenshot. If you, let's say you don't want to call dispatch, you take a screenshot of the trip and you send a voice note if that's easier for you, or you send a written message and we'll,
Maybe Limousys can update the app by putting recording options.
yeah, we have so many things that we want to do with Limousys. But again, it's not our software, it is rented, and they have so many customers that they really, you know, they try to do what we want, but it takes forever whenever they get to it. And it doesn't always, you know, they don't always do everything we ask because I guess they got too many customers. You know, so Limousys can do a lot more things, a lot better. I agree with that. And they are getting better. They are working, you know, on some things. But we are limited as far as what we can do with them, really. So all of your points are very valid. I have nothing against you, brother. I think you're very valid. Anything else? Because you seem I like what you got. I like problems. So what else you got, brother?
Oh
Go.
yes, one last point is like the signature. Sometimes passengers get out of the car without signing the trip. So what I have to do now is to put an X, because you know you can force the passenger to sign.
Right, correct. Yep, you do that. And I highly recommend, brother, you send a screenshot of the trip and you send it to the WhatsApp group, or you call dispatch and you let them know what you had to do. And this is to protect yourself. When you're signing on behalf of the passenger, which is technically what you're doing, you're technically falsifying that signature, unless the passenger is refusing to sign, which is the case you're talking about. But the only way I can prove that the passenger is refusing to sign is by you reporting it, because I'm going to make a note on that trip. And whenever a problem arises, whenever the passenger goes up to New York State and tells them, oh, in Gallant, they're falsifying my signature, I go back to that trip and I see that, no, this was reported before. I have a screenshot. I have a note on the trip, and this is going to protect you and it's going to protect me. It's going to protect both of us. So if they don't want to, we can't force them. You're absolutely right. But yes, you do have to report it. So I highly recommend you do report it. Socrates wanted to say something.
No. I want to motivate the other driver they have in the meeting to don't let 996 alone. Just ask questions, guys. That's what we're here.
Everybody thinks we're gonna take it against you. We're not, guys. We're doing this publicly. I'm live on Instagram right now because I have nothing to hide. I know this is dangerous, and I know I can get somebody come on here and say weird things. But I'm willing to take that chance because you know, we're not trying to hide anything here. So
I
go.
would see more bonus prices on rush hours. It's sometimes it's kind of crazy going to pick up somebody around Midtown that takes like 15-20 minutes. I'm going to be like $18 and you gotta go like 35 minutes to Midtown.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what was your unit number, brother? I'm sorry.
At 2690.
2690.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Actually, there was one of our drivers in the previous meeting also mentioned that we are, as you can see, we're adding bonuses in the mornings, especially for the morning jobs. That's one of our most critical part of the day. However, we are missing bonuses in the afternoons. The only thing that's preventing us from doing that is the fact that every time I give you a bonus, I'm pretty much, in a lot of cases, in a lot of cases, I'm actually putting money out of my pocket to cover. I'm paying you more than I'm getting paid for that trip. This is not always, of course, because I couldn't operate like that. I could not operate negative to have people to pay. But our intention is to continue to add more bonuses. We do want to add bonuses in the afternoons, in the evenings, because we know those are challenging times as well. We've been having issues with those times. And we're going to plan on, we're planning on it. The thing is that we're having to, when we take, and this is something that I'm surprised nobody's spoken about the base fee yet, but when what we're doing is that we're receiving a lot more trips. So I can give you a bonus and make less money per that trip if I make a lot of trips, because even though I make less money per trip, on a lot of trips, it helps me more than making more money on a few trips. So I want to give you more money. It works in my favor, in your favor, if I give you those bonuses. The thing is that I'm limited, right? I'm not making an unlimited amount of money here. And the state gives me a set amount. It doesn't matter how long, it doesn't matter how much I pay you. They don't care. They give me a set amount and I have to work with that. So once I have more trips that I can, on average, make a little bit more money, I can then lower what I earn from those, which means I can pay you more in different ways. Whether I can, like we just recently did, increase the minimum in certain areas, or like we can do, extra money, the $7 extra when you take morning jobs, or $5 extra within the rush in the mornings. We're going to work, and our next step is doing the bonus, fixed bonuses in the afternoons too. We just don't have enough trips to do that yet.
I got you. And one more thing I have to say is I actually love to work early in the morning. I don't usually sign up for the morning work jobs just because once I had a little problem and I couldn't do the jobs and I had to assign them. And then the dispatch was like just telling me about the warnings and all that. So I didn't really like that. But I do pick up the morning jobs whenever I do have time, since I also work with somebody else and I do the morning jobs. I have like a route. But yeah, I didn't like the warning or like the scare factor about it.
Right.
That's all I have to say, honestly. Like if I take a job and literally my kid gets sick, like, hey, I can't do it. That's it. Like, there are things that are more important to me than the job at that point. And I'm sure, like, if I tell you with time, you have enough time to find plenty other drivers because we are a lot of people.
True. Right. That's fair. That's fair. I understand. We actually train the dispatchers to say that, and this is so that the drivers are aware. I think everybody is fairly familiar with it. So we can see how we can go about the warnings in a different way. So I appreciate you bringing it up. However, the reason why we tell, especially in the morning jobs, I highly recommend you take the morning jobs, because when you take it, when they're assigned to you from the previous night, the previous day, they're going to come with a higher bonus, right? We give you $7 extra per trip on the trips above 5 miles. So this is, you'll make more money if you accept the morning jobs. And yeah, the reason why we do penalize the drivers that don't show up is because we've in the past we had drivers abusing it, where they take the jobs for the mornings and I guess they drink too much and they just don't show up. They never pick up the phone or call last minute. I don't want to do it. Now, these are jobs that I could have given to other drivers that would have done the job,
Right.
could have done the job, but I didn't, because now at 5, 6, 4 in the morning, there's not really a whole lot of drivers out there. So now they have to see how they're going to try to cover, and we've had to use other basis drivers to cover that, which is a lot more expensive for me to do when
Right.
yeah, when I do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with the guy actually, 975. When it comes to that, penalizing drivers, especially in the morning, sometimes like he said, you don't know what's going on in your household. You don't know if you leave and a flat tire or something happens to you. And like you obligated to do the ride. That happened to me in the past, and I had to, with a stomach ache, I had to go and drop off the customer because they said, well, unit 975, you cannot leave this code. You have to do it. And I felt like, well, I'm my own boss. Why should I follow? If I told you I have something to do, if I have an emergency, they shouldn't do that to us. Because without us, you don't have a job, guys. You know what I mean? We
I'll
work
tell you,
together. We work together. That's how I feel. You need to do something about this things. When you have an emergency, they scare us. Come on, we are drivers here. We're supposed to have our mind clear so we be able to do the best job that we can. And I agree with the guy. I don't like that you're gonna get penalized or you're gonna get 3 strikes, you're gonna be suspended. I feel like we're back in school. So you should work on that part of that when it comes to that, please.
No, and I fully respect it. I understand it. But I want you to see it from my end, right? This is you. You are one, and you are performing 3 trips that morning. But from my end, I am looking at 50, 60, 70 drivers, and 15 of them are doing this to me, not just one. So I have now 15 times 3 times 4 that I have to add passengers that I have to look for solutions for. So when one driver decides not to show up in the morning for a trip that was pre-assigned the night before, it's I like I just explained, I have to solve, because this is my passenger. At the end of the day, it's my responsibility to cover that passenger. So I cannot have just a bunch of drivers just canceling the trips on me last minute when they've been assigned from the night before. And yes, we have had to stop drivers. We've stopped drivers altogether from just not picking any more morning jobs because it just happened way too often. So I understand what you're saying, and at no point anyone should tell you you have to do it, because like you just said, you are your own boss. You don't have to do anything. And we tell our dispatchers that you are your own boss and you don't have to do our own thing. Now, once you've been assigned a trip, we expect you to comply with our regulations, with our rules for that trip, because this is how we make sure that things happen in an organized way. So yes, you are correct that, as a driver, it's uncomfortable. You don't like it. Sometimes things happen. You talk to, send the message, you talk to the supervisor, and the supervisor will make notes. We have meetings on a weekly basis, sometimes several meetings, and we discuss these things, and we decide whether at that point, whether it was a valid excuse, whether it was valid, and if it's valid, we're going to be fair. And if we suspended you, we're going to give you priority for the next day. That should try to make it up to you. If you were in the right and we were in the wrong, and this happens, we're often in the wrong, so we have no issues with recognizing when I'm wrong. It's just that I cannot accept just drivers to cancel my morning jobs last minute. It's just it would destroy the operation, and it would just destroy the operation. I couldn't. I had to come up with that rule because it was out of hand. I was getting too many complaints by the insurance companies. So I on that end, it's just not a whole lot I can do. If I see a driver is, I understand once, I get it. 2 times is already too much, because it's not a matter of us being in school. It's a matter of us having to take that passenger that sometimes has waited months to get that appointment, and then the driver doesn't show up. This is we're dealing. It's a lot of passengers, a lot of different things. So we do have to have strict rules when it comes to that. There's just the way we have to handle it as far as that goes. The how we announce and how we go about the warnings, I think we can have a better system. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We're going to see how we can do it without necessarily having the dispatcher tell you. But please understand, it is not the dispatcher that is telling you this. The dispatcher has to tell you this because I am telling them to do it. Every Friday, we have meetings with all of the dispatchers. Every Friday, we have 2 meetings, one with one group, and then we separate them into 2 groups, and we allow them to have questions, to ask questions, and we tell them, what we're doing. We tell the dispatchers, this is what you must tell the drivers. If the driver is late, just quickly tell them they may be penalized for this. This is all they're supposed to say. They're not supposed to tell you that you have to do it. They're not supposed to.
Sometimes, excuse me, sometimes they even argue with us. And I said, but listen, I'm going to make it late to the customer. I don't mind. Sometimes things happen while we driving to the customer. And usually I call the customer and I let them know, listen, I'm going to be running a little late. And sometimes the dispatcher bombard me every single, like for instance, today, right? I was supposed to pick up this lady and I was supposed to bring her back to Brooklyn. And I was all the way up there. Before I made it to drop off the gentleman before the lady, I called the base. And I said to the base, can you please make a notation that I'm going to make it late to the passenger so you guys don't harass me, because it's like I feel like harassed. You guys don't harass me. Please make a notation. I already spoke to the lady that I'm going to be running late because I'm all the way on West 155th and I got to get to 72nd or 70th Street. I already spoke to the customer, right? The customer already agreed with me. I told the dispatcher, please make a notation. Guess what? Another dispatcher's calling me and telling me, what is the ETA? I said, sir, I called 20 to 25 minutes ago and I spoke to the dispatcher and I told the dispatcher, please make a notation in the computer about the lady that I'm going to make it a few minutes late. I already spoke to the passenger and she agreed and the guy bombarded me again. So I don't understand what kind of communication, and I've been with you guys for a long time. And sometimes that's why I don't like to speak, because I'm probably going to get, I don't want to get out of context. You understand what I'm
that
saying?
happened to me too.
Yeah.
That happened to me too. Like I spoke to the passenger, telling the passenger that I'm going to be late, and the passenger agrees with me. But
What is the unit number,
unfortunately,
sir?
the dispatch was to take out the job for me. And I was like, how come you remove the job for me? And I spoke to the passenger. The passenger say, okay, and they waiting for me. Then to me, I think it's not fair.
All right. No, I hear you guys. I hear you. What was your unit number, brother? I just want to know who was here.
Me again, 996.
Oh, 996. All right. All right. I hear you. I hear you. There's an issue with that. The first thing is that I have, as a base, I have the responsibility to be on time. It is. I have to be on time. It's not you. The drivers. You're late and you won't really hear much. But from me, the state, I begin losing jobs when I am over late, when I have a lot of latenesses. So we've increased the monitoring of the drivers when they seem to be late, or when they're X amount of time extra. When the system shows me that you're 15 minutes out and the trip is in 5 minutes, something like that. When you're 30 minutes out and the trip is in 10 minutes, the dispatcher is trained to call you and ask you for an ETA. Why? Because we have to make notes. These notes, if you tell me you spoke with the passenger, the dispatcher, if you call dispatch, you tell them you're going to talk to you spoke with the passenger said okay. Even though the passenger tells you it's okay, a lot of the time they're going to go back to the insurance company and put a complaint against me. Paula is the person that fills out these complaints. So constantly we get these complaints from the state that we have to answer. Why were you late? And we have to come up with the story by looking at the trips, by looking at the notes. So you do well by calling dispatch and letting them know. However, understand, if I know you are going to be late, I have to try to find the driver that is not going to be late, that is going to be that is already close to that passenger. And this is why we remove it from you. Why? Because we would rather take one job away from you. Let's say it's a morning job and you have a route where you have 3 trips. the first one took a little long to come down, and now the second one took a little longer. Now for the third one, you won't really make it on time. It is better if you just tell dispatch, take the trip away from me. I am not going to make it on time. See if you can find a closer driver. And then the dispatcher is going to do that, because just like you let go of that trip, there was another driver that was also going to be late that had to let go of another trip that you may be close to. So you take one trip that the other driver let go because he was going to be late, and the other driver is going to cover the trip that you had, and both passengers are now going to be on time rather than both passengers going to be late. When we are late and they are counting this against us, we have meetings where they tell us this is how much late you are and you have to get better at it. They expect something like a 95% on time performance, which is impossible in New York City, but they still expect it. And the first thing they do when we drop below that is that they stop giving us trips. We stop growing on the trips, and the amount of trips and the quality of the trips that we get is less and is worse. So in order for me to guarantee you more work and better work, I have to be on time, which means you have to be on time. If you're not on time, if you're my only option, the dispatcher knows there's nobody else. Let her keep the trip. Now, if there are other drivers, I'm going to take away the trip from you because, again, there's more trips. There's a lot of trips there. So you're going to get another trip from the air. You're going to get a trip out of the list while we're going to be covering that trip on with a different driver. So this is what's happening. And we do it because we have to. It's not that I want to. To me, to my dispatchers, is more work to tell you all of this, to remove the trips from you and have to find another. All of this is nothing that I want to do because this constitutes more work for me. Why would I want to put more work on myself? The only way why I do it is because if I don't, then I'm going to lose trips, and then I'm going to lose you, because if I don't have enough trips, you don't have enough money to make, you're going to go find a different base. So I have to protect you by sometimes working a little bit against you in that sense, taking those trips against you, away from you, so that I can have a driver that is on time performing. So the way I want you to see it is, it's really not about a single passenger or a single driver. It's about us as a whole being on time. And when one is late, trust me, you're only seeing you. But we're seeing 250 drivers connected online right now. And out of those 250, there's 180 trips happening right now. So it's a lot. And I cannot consider case by case. I have no preference when it comes to the driver. There's no sort of this driver do this and this driver do that. I couldn't. There's no way I can run an operation like that. So this is why we do this. And I know it's uncomfortable. I agree. I don't like it personally. I really dislike it. I think taking a job away from a driver is the worst thing we can do. I don't want to do it because that it's a lot of problems. You're unhappy. The passenger's unhappy. I have to find another. It's just not good for anybody. So understand, it's not that the dispatchers are telling you this against you personally. They have to say it to everyone, because this is the way I've trained them. I can, consider different ways of going about warning you, and giving drivers warnings. I've been thinking, if you have a better way, please, if you think of a good way to share warnings so to prevent them. Because again, when we're telling you about a warning, it's a potential warning. We don't want you to get it. When you as a driver are out, when you're not working, I have one less driver. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help the passengers. Doesn't help anybody. So I don't want to penalize you. I don't want to. The reason why I have them announce it to you is so that we avoid it. We avoided penalizations. I don't like it. I don't want it. It does me no good. It does nobody any good. But if I let anybody, if I have 250 drivers working at the same time, and this is usually at the same time, there's more that connect throughout the day, on and off. But if I have 250 drivers, I have to keep control of them. I cannot just let people be late whenever they want, just do whatever they want. I can't, because at that point, then the base goes down. We lose it all. So That's why we're a little strict. And why we have the rules, guys, is not because I want to come up with them. I wish I could just give you the trip and forget about it. If you did it or not, that's not my problem. I gave it to you. It doesn't work that way. I cannot. I cannot just do that. I cannot just not worry about a trip once I've assigned it to a driver. I have to see it through and through, from the point of pickup to the point of drop off and any other trips in between that. So that's that, you guys. And sorry, I don't have a better answer for you, but that is the reason why we're doing these rules. You know, like I said, I'm gonna try to find a better way to announce the warnings. But when a warning is told to you, is don't be mad against the dispatcher. They don't like saying it, and they tell us this in the meetings. I don't like telling the drivers that they have a warning, but I don't know how else to do it better right now. Until I find a better way to do it from the app, directly through the app, then we're going to try to go that way. But like I said, I'm a little limited as far as what I can do with the app. So sorry, I don't have a better answer. Socrates, do you want to add anything? Or this is a hard one, brother. Help me out here.
Another thing I have, you have also all the bases working, like, you know, that you get a chance to choose from whoever you want to work with at the moment when Gallant is slow. But then I got this passenger the other day. It was from another base. That lady threatened me. You know, I didn't call you guys, but I called her base because I made it on time. I like to be on time, you know, unless God forbid something happens, because we live in New York City. Things happen. I probably leave my house 30 minutes before to make it to the person when a person is only 15 minutes away. I want to be on time. I made it on time for the lady. I stand up in front of her building. It was from another base. I carry, you know, I'm very friendly. I'm very professional when it comes to that. I don't argue with customers. I don't like that. And I eventually put the lady, the walker and everything inside my cart, and we proceeded to go. She was demanding me go to my cart and get the walker, take it out of there and put it in your car, get the red. She was giving me orders like I'm her daughter. So when I'm ready to leave, and I didn't took her way, the lady started yelling at me. She started yelling at me. And I said, ma'am, why are you yelling at me? I don't have anything to, I'm just taking you to your destination. And that's what I refused. I said to her, you know, do you want me to drop off here because you yelling at me? Oh, I dare you. I do not argue with customers. That's one thing that I do not argue with her. I took her to the destination. She was screaming at me. And sometimes that's what I refuse to take job from all the base. I call her base and I complain about the lady because I don't want the lady to complain about me when I didn't do anything wrong to her, but to do right by her. So I'm just letting you know, sometimes I'm afraid to take customers from another company, guys.
This is good. Thank you, 975. I really appreciate it. What you're saying, and this brings me to an important point, you guys. We, as you already know, we work in a network where there's multiple other bases there and multiple other jobs from different bases. All these bases have different rules, and we cannot force a different base to work the way we work, right? So our only agreement is to share certain work, and that way I help their passengers, they help my passengers with their drivers, and I help their passengers with my drivers, and you know, everybody's happy. The passengers are picked up on time from both bases, and the drivers have work when it would otherwise be slow at their original base. So all of it. However, some of these bases, and we're not going to mention any names, so I ask you, please don't mention any base names here, because this is being transmitted publicly. But whenever you don't feel comfortable working with a base, especially, you know, whatever that base, brother 996, the base that has 180 minutes before you can place no show. If you don't want to work with that base, just send us a message on WhatsApp. Tell us, listen, this base has, I don't like it. I don't like, you know, whenever a base is they give you the job and they cancel it, and you see it in the air again, you need to take it, and then they cancel it, and it looks like they're trying to find a driver, somebody else. When they do that, let me know. And we have finished a relationship with bases for doing this, because I tell these bases, you cannot just give my driver a job and then as he's driving there, she's driving there, then you take it away. You're wasting their time, their money, their gas, everything. So what we do is that we have blocked these bases, and we can actually block a specific base to a specific driver. So we tell these bases, if my drivers complain, you're gonna lose that driver. I can, like, if you don't want to see trips from a specific base, just tell us, send a message on WhatsApp, and we'll stop that base from you. You will never see trips from that base again. The base loses because now they have less drivers available for them. And if that happens often enough, we will just finish their relationships altogether with those with that base. So having said this, whenever you encounter a problem with a passenger, just come through us. I highly recommend, don't go directly to the base. Don't tell the base what's going on. Tell us, because we have the trip in our system. You are our driver, and we can talk directly with the base owner, because sometimes you're speaking to an employee that hasn't been trained properly. A lot of the dispatchers from other bases are nasty. They don't care about the drivers. They talk to the drivers like nothing. We don't allow our dispatchers to do that. So, in order for you to save any issues, for us to have any problems with that base, just come through us, send us a message on WhatsApp, tell us what the problem is, and we're gonna escalate it. We're gonna go back to the base and talk to the owner, because usually that has a lot better results than when the drivers call the base directly. Don't call the base unless there is something directly related to the dispatch. If you can't, for whatever reason, find the passenger, or if you can't get into whatever it is that is preventing you from picking up that passenger and taking them to their appointment, of course, talk to that base so that they can quickly get that passenger on the line for you. But if there's any issues, if there's any problems with a passenger from a different base, just tell us, whether it is the money, whatever it is. Don't call a different base to tell them to pay you more. This is against our rules. The money is already there. When you see the money, this is something that is important. I want you guys to know, because I'll be sharing a video about this shortly. Is when you see a trip and it has a price and the notes, like I said, we're having issues with limousines. It's sometimes, because of the different settings between the bases, it changes the prices. Even though the base is paying $16, for whatever reason in the software, it comes down, it comes to us as $14, or vice versa. It could be more, it could be less. So whatever you see in the notes ready, in the notes where it's actually typed, written. So if it says pays $16 or pays X amount of dollars, that is the amount of dollars that you're going to receive. So anything like that, if there's any issue, whether it is with that specifically, with the toll, with the passenger, come through us. We're happy to take care of problems. I love problems. You bring me the problems, and then I'll solve it. I'll solve it with that base, between them and us. So thank you for bringing that up. As far as the other bases, don't call the other bases. Just give us a call. We'll make the notes in the trips, and then we'll talk to the other base. Like I said,
But I think I don't know if I actually call you guys, but the thing is, I spoke to the dispatcher and I explained the issue, and she says that I'm not the only driver that has complained about the lady before. So that's the reason I never actually approached to you guys, because sometimes I approach our bases and our bases doesn't know anything. They say, oh no, you got to call the base for certain price. So like, also your dispatcher needs to have a little bit more train when it comes to things like that, because it happened to me in the past when prices with the other bases, and I actually called them directly and I say, okay, this is what the price is, and they say and they change it sometimes. So sometimes our dispatcher doesn't give us the answers. I have to get in contact with that base so they can fix my issues when it comes to prices too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, 96.
No, I was about to say that she's right, and then there was something I wanted to mention to her too. If you don't like a trip from a certain base, the name of the base is mentioned in the app. You can choose not to pick any trip from that base. You don't have to call that base or call Gallant to remove that base for you from you. You just have not to pick any trip from that base, because the name of the base is mentioned in the app.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
whenever,
have to,
you know what?
I'm sorry. I have to say that sometimes, not always, depending on the hour of the day, there are some bases that might have the trips. I guess that it will go out like in automatic. But maybe the dispatch for that base is not necessarily close to the phone, and you call them and you wait for like 15, 20 minutes, nothing happens. So that's when I reach out to our own dispatch and I'll be like, hey, I'm calling, no answer, can you help?
Yeah, yeah. You should avoid calling a different base, the different bases if you can. Avoid calling them all together. Call us, go through us, and we'll handle it from our end. What we can just take off that job from you, and it'll automatically reactivate in their base. We won't see it in our system anymore, unless they give it to us again. We also do have the auto dispatch, where when the base sends us some trips, you can automatically receive an offer to take or reject the trip as you normally do, just even if it's from a different base. So you can, if you go by looking at the name, you can take it by mistake, one time or another. You can still reject it within the 3 minutes. But if you just want to avoid working with a base altogether, my advice to you is just write a message on WhatsApp and tell them that you don't want to work with that base. Socrates has something. Go ahead.
Yes, something that I want to tell you guys is in that particular case, when you have an issue with one specific passenger from all the base, don't limit yourself and be scared about, oh, I don't want to get that passenger again. So I don't know where the passenger is located. So I don't know if they dispatch a trip again, if I'm gonna get the passenger again. So you can request always Gallant to block one specific passenger from you. So that way you cannot limit the network, because it's a big benefit to have a lot of companies. Wherever you go, you have a trip available. So my suggestion for you guys is to report a customer. Just tell them the dispatch, hey, I don't want to get this customer anymore. Block that customer from my app. And we can do that as well. It's better than blocking the base.
Yes, thank you, Socrates. This is important. Yes, keep that in mind, you guys. We can block a specific passenger from a specific driver, and we do it usually we do it. If, however, I did forget to mention this, if a passenger is a problematic passenger, if a passenger seems to be aggressive, if it is unsafe to transport that passenger, don't transport them. Just don't, just call dispatch from the get-go, because we don't want a passenger attacking you. If they turn violent, if they're violent, don't transport them. We'll make notes in our system, and then we'll also, I'm gonna hide and mute you, bro. And we have in the past actually blocked passengers permanently from traveling with us, because they are too aggressive, or they're just always a problem. If that happens, just let us know. We'll block the passenger from you. It doesn't matter who. And same thing. I recommend you try not to block a whole base, because like Socrates said, if you do block a base, then you are going to lose all of the trips from that base, right? So make sure you only do that when the base is a problem for you. When they cancel trips constantly on you and that sort of things, of course, we always will if you request it. But if you can handle not blocking the whole base and just blocking a passenger, we can also go that route. That's a better route, actually, better solution. So I know I'm not giving you the perfect answers, 975. I'm trying my best here.
I have a question for you, Victor.
Shoot.
I would like to talk about our drivers, what we're gonna get on Saturday, what we're expecting to have in the celebration, guys. We have 10 years in business, so you guys are more than welcome to join us on Saturday, July 26th, if I'm not mistaken, right, Victor? Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is
Right.
Oh, we're gonna have a lot of fun. The same conversation that we have virtual, we're gonna be in person there. So it's the opportunity, so you can feel free to continue talking and join the party. 10 years, guys. Thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary, which is we're already on the 11th year, but we're celebrating the 10th. Yes, you have to sign up. So make sure that if you haven't registered, two things are required. You register and that you're active with us. If you're active, then you can go. And if you register, we're gonna have two meetings. One is gonna be in Spanish. The other one is gonna be in English. This is on the 26th. Anybody, doesn't matter how new or old you are welcome to come to the meeting, meet us in person, and we're gonna have activities. We're gonna have recognition for our drivers there. I'm not gonna say much more than that, but we're gonna be recognizing some drivers and whatnot. Now, I am curious that nobody has yet spoken about the base fee. I want to bring it up myself. No complaints on the base fee?
It is
No.
too
Yes,
much
it's
for
too
me.
much.
Yes,
It's too
yes, it
much.
is too much.
Honestly, I don't really mind the base fee because it's fair game. Everybody has to make something.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you guys. So I brought it up. It's an uncomfortable conversation. It's not good for me to bring it up, but I want you guys to see I'm being transparent. I really am not trying to hide anything. This is open. I'm running a lot of risks here, and
Yes.
it's fair game. I have nothing to hide. I'm running a good operation here. We're fair in everything we do, and although not everybody appreciates it. But as far as the base fee, you guys, we received a complaint when we went from 6% to 10%, and before that 3%. But nobody talks about the years when we were charging 0% base fee. Nobody ever
I
comes
was
here.
excited for
I
that
wasn't
year. I
around
was
for that
very
time.
happy. I was so happy, but
Of
I'm not
course.
happy now.
Of course, it is a different operation now, and it's we have a lot more people. We have a ton of people, you guys, that help us do what we do every day. We have to have people to modify their paperwork, to update your paperwork, to create you, to call you, it's a lot, and none of it is free, you guys. On
I
top
feel
of
like I feel like the more you're growing and the more you increase the base fee.
but the more we're giving you, and I mean, if we go by comparisons, you can compare us go ahead, Socrates, you take this one.
No, I'm gonna add up that trust us, guys. We put a lot of effort every day to make our company better and better and better every day. So if I tell you about the technology, I know everybody know how Uber and Lyft work. We're trying our best to get a similar technology like them, but unfortunately, we cannot do it now. But in a couple of months, maybe at the end of the year or before the end of the year, we have a couple of surprises for you guys about payments, like how we're gonna accelerate a little bit the payments and make your payment a little quicker for you guys. Because we have a lot of requests from driver. Hey guys, why you don't pay like Uber and Lyft, this, that, and we try. It's a lot of stuff that we're gonna bring. And like Victor said, you guys know that nothing comes free in life. It's a lot of stuff that we need to develop, a lot of people that we need to hire, and of course, we need to looking for the income for that. Something that I'm gonna mention is the difference between Gallant and Uber and Lyft is we don't have on-demand prices. Like we cannot charge our customers $100 because it's waiting. It's a store known store in the city, like things like that. Or it's raining. We cannot do that. We have a flat rate from the state, and we need to work with those prices. The only way that we can growing our business is by looking around what we can do to keep providing more technology to you guys, and also bring more people, and take their little profit that we have and spread that profit with everybody, dispatchers, you guys, drivers. That's the only way that we can continue doing business. And let me tell you this, I know, guys, that you work with all the companies out there. We're not gonna mention any name. And I'm not gonna tell like, oh, Gallant, we are the biggest company in New York City. But let me tell you something. The more time that we are in business, we're gonna be killing
and be the best company in New York City. Just give it the time and keep trusting Gallant. You're gonna see it.
Yeah, we do have a lot of things in store coming up this year, you guys. The base fee has increased because we are investing a bunch of money into it. So, but I don't want to make money from the base fee, really. I'm not trying to penalize you for it. The way we're, you know, if we even have given our drivers, all of you guys have the option of not paying base fee, right? This is it's temporary. I can make it last longer if I see a better result. But what we want is we want to have a small amount of drivers doing a large amount of trips. I don't want a large amount of drivers doing a little bit of trips. This is not good for me. I want to have little drivers, lots of trips. And
Can you decrease then the 40 trip, because that's a lot. I can't. I'm getting old. No more 40 trip for me. Can you decrease it? 35, 30, so I can get free base or something like that?
I cannot, because this is what I want you to understand. When I take the base fee off of a driver that makes more than 40 trips, which is quite a few, I am actually stopping my earnings from the drivers that make the most amount of money. So I am actually getting I'm getting the drivers that make the most money, and from which I make the most money. I'm not making that money anymore. So what's happening is that not so many drivers are taking advantage of it. And there are trips there. If you want to work, it doesn't matter where the trip comes from, as long as it is a completed trip, you know, you always have the option to complete. But doing less than 40 trips on a weekly basis, it really doesn't help me. It's because it's expensive. I have all the systems that I have to use for you to work with me are really expensive. The only way I can cover that is if you work enough trips for me, so that I can make enough money to then from that earnings pay all the softwares and everything else that I have to pay for. So it doesn't really help me when somebody does less than 40 trips. And it really hurts me when somebody does 5, 6, 7 trips. Like,
But Victor, sometimes Gallant is super slow. And then sometimes we don't want to work on the bases because they giving us $16 for 30 minutes. Are you for real? My car doesn't run with water; it runs with gas. Believe me.
no, I hear you. I hear you. But I mean, right now I have drivers that are on a regular basis doing 70, 80 trips, 60 trips, and this is not just one. It is quite a few of them. One of the complaints from my previous meeting from one driver was that he was getting way too many trips, and it was overwhelming for him. And then there was other drivers that, you know, he just didn't know how to operate the app very well. But you know, there's plenty of trips there available for anybody to do them. It's just doing less than 40 trips. It doesn't help me as much, and this is why. You know, when I did it, like the weeks that we've been operating without base fee, the only thing that I have accomplished really, because I haven't received as much new drivers signing up to it. Let's say 100 drivers. Let's say 80 drivers do more than 40 trips. We're only up to maybe 90, 95 more drivers that, you know, 10, 15 more drivers that have added to the no. So it's not really helping me a lot, because I was expecting more drivers to do more trips. So I encourage you, and the whole point of it is to encourage our drivers to help us with at least 40 trips. Because if I can do that, I don't have to use other bases. When I use another base, 975, when I have to use a different base to cover my trip, this is more expensive for me every single time, because most of these times they even take the bonus that I'm giving you. I have to give it to the other drivers and to the other base, and I'm not making any money on that, because I have to give it all to that other base. The base is making money for me. So if my own drivers did all of my trips, I wouldn't need the network. I wouldn't need the other bases or their trips, and I could lower my base fee, number one, and number two, I could pay you more per trip, because again, it is my own drivers The problem is I have to account for when my drivers don't do my trips, which unfortunately happens often, that I have to go to other bases to do my trips. So this is why of the 40 trips, and this is why, of the increase of the base fees, because I need my drivers doing my trips. So I'm trying to encourage you guys to do it. I cannot force you. You are your own boss. But all I can do is encourage you by giving you more or not taking away the base fee if you at least help me with those 40 trips. So that's the whole reason. I wanted to have that base fee conversation because I thought it was necessary. Nobody wanted to talk about it. So now,
No, fair game.
yes, I want you to, and this is the point, I want you to do it. So anything else you guys you want to discuss? The floor is open.
Yes, I have one more thing regarding the routes.
Go ahead.
When we make the routes, try say, can we make the routes like make sense? Like if I'm going to 77 from the Bronx, can I have another trip around downtown, like that area, instead of having to go back to the Bronx
Yes,
with traffic to pick up a $16 trip when
that is,
there are plenty of trips that are already downtown?
brother, that is one of the best questions I've heard so far. And I love it because you're thinking,
No, I do routes. That's what I do in the morning. So I'm just,
yeah,
I want to try to sign up for the morning trips. I just want them to make sense because I hate to waste time. I actually work on a schedule. I have to make certain amount of money by certain amount of time. Otherwise, my day is not going well.
I hear you. That's good. I respect it. I respect it. And we've go ahead, Socrates. Socrates got this one. He's been working on this much longer than me. Go ahead, Socrates.
Yeah. Where's your car unit again?
2690.
2690. All right, 2690. Again, we put a lot of effort just to bring more easy way to work, because if we make easy work to you, it's easy work to for us as well. So let me ask you this, guys, now. So what about if we can build a system instead that you call the base, just you create your own route. You decide where to go, you decide where
Like
to pick
that.
up. You like that? That's what we are building right now. We are building
Nice.
something, but again, it's taking time. We don't own the system. We rent the system. We need to wait for them to complete and see as soon they complete the whatever update that we asked for, to see if it's working for you guys. I don't know if you remember that we starting open the morning job at 12 o'clock, and now we bring it back to 3 p.m. So because it's not working, we have a lot of glitch, a lot of complainings for the drivers, because they said they saw the morning job different at 12 o'clock. So we need to bring it back for 3 p.m. But the reason why we put at 12 is not because we want to, it's to bring or open more room for you guys to have enough time to be in a morning job. But again, give us a chance to keep working, even though we don't promote this on social media, like what we do internally, but we are working constantly, like to make Gallant better, and also Trace.
Yeah. What you say is absolutely right. The routes should make more sense. We've tried so many ways, brother. But with the amount of trips and drivers that we have, it's nearly impossible for to do it manually, for a person to physically, choose one trip and then select the next one that makes sense, because of the way the system works. It really it ties our hands a lot. So we're working on different softwares. We're spending so much money. We're in so much debt.
I get it.
Trying
I
to
mean, you know what's one thing, like if we are able to pick our own trips, that's perfect. Because I remember once you said before, like, please don't pick up just the big trips, pick up the small trips. Small trips make more money if you pick them correctly, right? One after the other. They make more money per hour than a
Yes.
long trip.
Yes. That is
But
that is-
sometimes you don't have the short. Sometimes you don't have the long. So I prefer the long ones because because it depends how you work. You understand how you like to work. I like big ones.
Right.
yeah, no,
You
yeah.
understand?
There's drivers that only do there's drivers that only do long trips. There's drivers that only do short trips. There's drivers that do only Bronx and Manhattan. There's drivers that do not come out of Brooklyn and only work in Brooklyn. I mean, there's preferences for everybody. And you know, we try to give it to give it and this is the whole point. You know, we want to have the more trips so you have more options to work whichever way it is that you like or want to. Yeah, the whole system. Oh yeah, as far as the morning jobs, when you sign up, and what Socrates just mentioned, we started it to give you more options, right? We started it not at 3 o'clock. We moved it so that it starts at 12. At noon, you could now sign up to the morning jobs. But that had a problem that we could never solve. We tried and we had to go back to noon. Something that is still happening that I want everybody to know, I mentioned it in the last meeting, is what you see, the position you see in the morning jobs is going to tell you that you are number one when you do it at exactly 3 o'clock. But it's going to tell 4 other drivers that they are also number one, which is impossible. There cannot be 4 number ones. And in my system, I'm seeing 1 number one because obviously there's only 1 number one. So what you see is not what I see. The way we used to handle morning jobs before was horrible. 975, you probably remember that you had to call and be on the line and wait. And then at 6 o'clock, and then there was a huge wait time for, when you called for the dispatchers to assign the trips. So we went to doing it through the app, which is better than what we had before. It's just way away from perfect. It's not perfect at all. But this, between the routing system and the morning job system are 2 things that we have been working for months with limousines. They have made some progress, just not as much as we want to, but that is going to get better. We expect, hopefully, the end of this year, we're going to have something really, really good that we're going to be sharing with you guys. I'm not going to say much more than that because we've tried so many things that a lot of them didn't work, but we're going to keep trying. I'm not going to give up. We're going to keep trying. So yes, when you see number 3 or number 5 or whatever position you see, don't trust it. The dispatcher is going to call you in the order that they see. We see a certain order, and we're going to call you in that order. That's what they're trained to do. So yes, please don't stress, when you say that, oh, I'm number 1 and why haven't they called me? It's because you're really not number 1. You're probably 27 and, and this is why. So yes.
I have one more thing to say.
Sure. Go ahead.
Sometimes in the morning, I think this is automatic, but say I'm in the Bronx and there is like a Westchester call for 12 p.m. I don't know why the system sends the call out at 9, for example. Like, not necessarily to have like a call in the air for 3 hours. Or if that's the case, say I was to say, okay, I want to do that 12 p.m. call. Now I'm stuck with a 12 p.m. call. Like, if it's for 12, can you have this like be on like in the background so I could keep picking calls that are within the time now?
You see, you're asking hard questions, and now I don't like it. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just going based on the things that I have encountered, like so far as I work.
No, this is this is very good. I appreciate it. Yes, what you're saying is a valid point, and this is also an issue that we've tried fixing. There's no reason why, if you have a job assigned for 2 hours, 3 hours ahead, that you cannot take any jobs right now. Yeah, we have that in the works as well, brother. Socrates, go ahead. I love Socrates. He always comes to my help at the hardest moments. Go ahead, brother.
Something that I want to tell you guys, that everything that you see that we're doing Gallant is for a reason. It's not because we want to do that way because looking cute. No. The reason why we dispatch trip like that, if you notice, is Westchester, New Jersey, like town that is far away from our regular operation, Manhattan, brought the 5 boroughs. So the insurance, just most of the time, they schedule trip far away, Connecticut, 3 hours away, 4 hours away. in the system again, we don't have a specific rule to put in the system just to calculate a specific town and the city that big dispatch at a specific time close to the drivers. So if we're gonna put like Westchester is big. We have like Albany. We have Syracuse, not Syracuse. What is the town over there? Peekskill, something like that. So it's like 2 hours away from Manhattan. So let's say if it's a trip from $200 or $300, if we have this regular setting to be dispatched 15 minutes, we're gonna be late. It's not way that we're gonna be on time when the trip is 3 hours away. So my recommendation is, again, use the app and your benefit. You have the 3 minutes to check the timer. If you don't like it, remove it. But if you take that trip because the amount is because you want to do that trip that costs $200, just be chilling, drive, and make the $200 back. It's $400 round trip. That's the main reason why we dispatch those trips in advance, so we can secure a driver for that particular customer.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, there's trips that we have to dispatch hours in advance, and exactly because of what Socrates mentioned. So it was hard to explain, so I'm not gonna go over it again. But that's the reason, brother. But you still raised a valid point. You should be able to continue to take trips after you have that one, because you don't necessarily, it's not gonna take you 2 hours to get there. So you should, we're working on a workaround for that. It's taking a minute, as many other things are. So
I got something to say.
Go ahead.
I feel like you should prioritize the old drivers if they fall to the waiting list, just in case if they fail to submit any documents and they go to the waiting list. I feel like taking them for like holding them for like 1 month or and more. This is not fair to me. If they are old drivers and they've been working for you for a long time, you should prioritize them.
No, that's valid, and thank you for bringing it up. I'm going to tell you why we're doing this. What happens is that, and this is like I said, I keep no preference on a driver. I cannot choose or pick from one or the other driver. I have to be fair to everyone. It doesn't matter how long they've been in the company. So the way I try to do this is when a driver is performing less than 20 trips for me on a monthly basis, usually what's happening is that a lot of these drivers are doing 1, 2, or 3 trips a week, and they are only doing the best paying trips that we have whenever those trips come up. So I have a driver that does 3 trips per week for me, and all those 3 trips are $80, $70, $50. And but you that work over that work 20, 30, 40 trips and over with me don't have a chance to take those trips. So in order to protect and give my drivers that work the most with me, whoever we give priority is the drivers that give priority to us. And the way I know a driver is giving priority to me and my passengers is by seeing how much that driver is working for me. So if I see that driver is working for me a lot, then I have preference for that driver. And the way I do that is by eliminating the drivers that are only doing 1 or 2 or only a few trips, because they're only doing whatever is best for them, not thinking of this operation. But when I have a driver that is thinking of this operation, of these passengers, then I want that driver to benefit the most. So we do it. It doesn't look fair, even when they're old, but it is fair for the drivers that work the most. That's really why we do it. Go ahead, Socrates.
Something also that I want to bring to your attention, guys, is that we, at the beginning, we started like very low with trips, and the driver was complaining a lot. Hey guys, you need to look in for more trip, blah, blah, blah. So now we receive more trip every day. So Gallant is responsible for every single trip that Medicaid sends to us. Every single day. We cannot play games with the insurance, telling, hey, we don't have drivers. I'm sorry, but we don't have covered that particular area. We need to have drivers no matter what. So the reason why, like Victor said, we can get those drivers active and motivated to work every day is to continue bringing trips that makes sense for the driver to perform every single week. So we have also a drivers in the social media, like we have driving in another waiting list. They're so excited to join Gallant and work with Gallant. They want to work a lot to bring more value for the company, and also we can bring more job for the company. The more trip that you guys can cover, the more trip that we can ask the insurance to give us every week. But imagine, what about like if we tell the insurance, hey, yes, we can do 1,000 trip daily now, just from one particular insurance, and they say, okay, are you think so? Yes, we're ready for that, and they send the 1,000 trip. Guess what? You cover one trip, it's $100. You disappear, but the 9,900 trip that we have, 999 trip that we have left, who is responsible for cover those trips? Gallant. So that's the reason why we need to have whatever driver they are motivated to work with us and they care about the company. That's the driver that we want work with us, with Gallant. So for me, as a business owner, I was a driver before. We're working fair for everybody. Need to be fair for the driver and need to be fair for the company. Victor and myself, we have only one priority in this conversation, this interview, is to let you know, guys, that we have Gallant as a main point to protect right now. We don't have any other, but you guys know that if Gallant disappears tomorrow and for any reason we close our business, okay, you have a good experience, like, oh, wow, Victor and Socrates was a cool guy, a cool dudes that we love it, and they working so good. But let me turn now Lyft, let me turn Uber, let me turn whatever company it is. We don't have any other options. That's why we need to protect Gallant and Tracy. So just help us to make our company better. And whatever you said about the waiting list, we're gonna take a look how we can make this better. But the best option is, if you don't want to be part of those drivers to be on the waiting list because they're not performing a lot of trip, just go into the right list. Perform more trip, you're gonna see a big difference.
Yeah, it's all about encouraging everyone to do more trips, you guys. And Socrates mentioned something important. You know, even when it comes to the base fee, I want you guys to know, I'm not rich. I'm not getting rich off of this. I'm actually a realtor here. I live in Florida, and I'm a realtor here. I sell houses for a living here also, aside of this job. I also have other businesses and other investments that I run. And I do it not because I'm rich. I mean, I like working. I think working gives a man purpose. But you know, nobody works because they love it or enjoy it. Work is work, no matter in what form it comes. So, you know, we are struggling to keep this business alive. And you know, I wish, you know, more drivers saw the value of what we're doing. And it's cool when a driver recognizes, you know, oh, I love the way you guys work. But then what's not cool is when the same driver doesn't really do a whole lot of trips with us and is working for Uber or Lyft or whichever, you know, billionaire owns that company. They don't understand that Uber, as we speak, is looking for a way to get rid of the drivers so that they can make more money and do what they are doing without you. I'm not doing that. I'm not planning on getting rid of my drivers because even if I tried, I don't have the money to develop that software. So, you know, when the driver is working for Uber and they're not working for bases like us, or, you know, bases that are really, because I understand there's a lot of bases that are not good, and I know that's a fact, but there are bases that are good, and we are one of those. I can proudly say that. But when you're dedicating time to Wall Street,
Yeah, you are one of the best.
Thank you, thank you. And this doesn't happen by accident. This is work. You know what I mean? I have to make rules and have a lot of uncomfortable conversations with dispatchers, drivers, supervisors, with a bunch of people, so that you can say what you just said, so that you can actually know that that we are good, because we are trying. It's not happening by mistake. It's happening by hard work, from everyone. I mean, I'm not even taking the credit for this. But Socrates and I, we're directing it, but we have a whole team of people that are doing the work. And all of that is, we're salaried people. A lot of you guys are making more money than me driving. So what I'm saying, you guys, is, um, uh, you know, we need your support. If you like what you see here, understand that it seems like nothing now. You working for Uber, or just these big corporations. I said the name too many times. I hope they don't sue me. But but when you're working for these corporations, you're taking away. You understand that you as a driver are what we compete against each other. Like, I'm competing against a big corporation, a Wall Street corporation. For you, I'm competing to give you better deals, better work experience, better etc. Unfortunately, I'm limited as to what I can do because of money. I don't have the money to develop the software that I know I can work perfectly the way we want it to. But all we need is your support. If you guys help us accomplishing those 40 trips a week, I can have a permanent wait list where, if driver goes on vacation, I could just insert another one. And this is really what we want. We want to have a permanent wait list. I want to have 400 drivers working every day, and only those 400 drivers. And if somebody wants to work with us, they're only going to start working with us when one of those 400 drivers is not working for whatever reason, or would get suspended or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't want to have a million drivers. I want to have a small amount of drivers that do thousands of trips. That's how we want to run it. This is why we limit the drivers that don't work a lot with us, and that number is going to keep increasing every time. I'm sorry. Okay, that might have been a mistake. What I'm every where I was going is, every trip you help us with is helping us make this better. So and it is gonna get better. We're working on so many cool things. I'm excited for the rest of the year. Anything else, you guys? This is your time, and we've been going for 2 hours. We got another 45 minutes to match the other meeting. Let me see. Nobody on last meeting. We had people on Instagram writing questions. Nobody on Instagram is asking questions today for some reason. So if nobody else has a question, I'm going to finish the meeting now, if we're good. All right. So it seems like nobody else has a question. Guys, please do show up on the 26th, on Saturday. Make sure you're active and you're working with us. Tell other drivers that to join us and stay active until the 26th. You do have to register. It is limited. I think we only have another 50 drivers left and then we're closing the thing, because it's a limited amount of people that we can fit in the hotel. It is going to be at the Hyatt Hotel at the Cross County Mall. I'd be more than happy to meet you there, so I can stretch your hand 975, and you could actually say those things to me and feel good about it. You're never gonna offend me by
You
telling.
really want to see me in person, really?
Of course. Of course I do. Of course I do.
Let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. Show us some love. Show us some love there.
But that day is gonna be a good day. It's gonna be fun. We're planning a bunch of things. I want you to be there. It's gonna be a special moment. Not every business gets to 10 years, guys. Most businesses go down the drain after the 5th year, and we're still going strong. We're still growing. There's a lot of things that we're fighting against. There's so many things that are going on right now. If you are happy with us, please give us a 5-star review on Google, because only the passengers that are angry are the ones that are writing reviews. None of the passengers that are happy, which is most of them, they don't write reviews. Most of the drivers that are happy with those, which is most of you guys, you don't write reviews. Um, so please help us out with that. And if you want, of course, and yeah, I mean, thank you for being in this meeting. If you haven't said anything here because you're not comfortable saying it in a public setting, feel free to send a message via WhatsApp. The phone I have in my hands right now, that's my son. The phone I have right now is the phone that we use, the WhatsApp that we use. This is always private. It is always here in my office. And you know, there's a limited amount of us that has access to it. You could write your questions there. You can speak your questions there. You can send me a video of your questions. I mean, whatever you want. Remember
Before you
that,
go, I have one last suggestion.
sure, go ahead.
I would love for you to put another phone number so that drivers can contact you, because you take too long to pick up a calls from drivers.
Yeah, yeah. This is we are.
I agree with him. It's true. Sometimes it takes us 10 to 15 minutes, depending how busy the dispatchers are. It takes a long time for them to answer the phone. I agree 100% too.
Yeah, we're looking into that. Yes, and thank you for mentioning it. Last week it was mentioned as well. So it is a problem. I know it is a real problem because a lot of people are, you know, not only drivers, even passengers. So we're gonna look into it more today. I was doing some testing myself, calling the base, and I got an answer like after 6 minutes, which is ridiculous. We should not. If it goes over 5 minutes, you should hang up and call again because no call should take no longer really than 3 minutes to be answered. So there is a problem with the system, and we're testing to see what the problem is. I'm sorry that is happening. I really don't have an answer to that because I didn't realize how big a problem it was until last week. So we're working on that. You know, we're even adding more dispatchers to the team. So there's dispatchers in training right now to try to solve that issue. But other than adding people, I believe the problem is the software. I believe the software gets overloaded when a large amount of trips come in, and it just goes a little nuts for a little bit because it leaves people waiting. I've heard 10, 15, 20 minutes, which is no good. You should never wait 20 minutes on the phone. Never do it. Please don't do it. If it takes 6 minutes, hang up and call again. You should not. 20 minutes is too long. Something's wrong at that point, and it has to do with the system. We are testing it. I promise you guys, we are testing it. And yes, if you know, adding a new number is a solution to that, which I have thought about, we're gonna do it. It's just a matter of logistics, how we're gonna go about it. But thank you. I appreciate the input, though. I really do, and I'm really sorry. That is one that I have to take, you know, to the chest. Because I can't really. I don't have a good answer to that. Socrates.
Yeah,
Oh,
the last thing that I gotta.
Sorry, before, and then I'll let you close, Socrates, because I've spoken too much. I just want to tell you guys, tomorrow we are closed. The base is closed. You may see trips in the app. However, there's going to be no dispatchers to help you. The trips, we've canceled all of our major accounts, but there are accounts that they will still put, like the MTA, they still put trips there. There's nobody's going to be there on 4th of July, which is tomorrow. I thank you guys for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for what you do. Again, I started with this and I'm going to close with this. I cannot do this. We cannot do this without you. I thank Paula. Please be kind to Paula. Paula is a sweetheart. I have Laura and Yadi. They both couldn't be here today, but Laura is the person that is in charge of driver relations to solve all the paperwork related issues. And then there's Yari, which is the person that handles the payroll. She's the one that makes sure you get paid every week, every 3 days. Please be kind to them. They are only doing what I tell them to do. It's my fault. It's not theirs. So be mad at me, not them. And with that, again, thank you guys. Socrates, the floor is yours.
All right, before we go, I want to say thank you guys for the opportunity to talk today. And I'm going to throw a little snowball in your head now, Victor. be ready. So more than a company, we're gonna be a company that we're gonna bring value to you guys. It's not only to bring job and work from Medicaid, cash, whatever it is. You're gonna see in a few months that we're gonna bring more value that other companies, they don't do it with drivers. We're gonna show you guys, if you guys want to, and you are interested to do that, how to invest, how to personally grow as a person, you know, if you want to be a business owner. It's something that Victor is posting a little bit. Pay attention, please, to the Instagram, to the Facebook, to the status and WhatsApp, because it's something that we're gonna do for our drivers. Maybe other companies, they're gonna copy us, but we don't care. But more than the company, we're gonna bring value for you guys, and you're gonna see it. Thank you so much for your time, guys, and God bless everybody.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You got it, guys.
All right,
Bye-bye.
good night.
Bye.
All right, good night, guys. Bye-bye.